Imagine trying to build something with Lego, but you don't know what each block does. That's exactly what coding in Python feels like without knowing variables and data types. In this video, we'll explore these building blocks like numbers, text, and booleans, and show you how to use them to build real Python programs step by step, just like putting together the right Lego pieces. Hello everyone, I'm Arati. Welcome to my channel. This is the third video of Basic Python tutorial series. In previous video, we covered Jupyter Notebook installation and how to use Jupyter Notebook. In this video, I will cover variables and data types in Python. In any programming language, a variable is a container which is used for storing data. And data can be of different types. For example, name of a person, name of a country is a text. It is represented with data type string. Age of the person, marks in any subject, today's temperature are type numeric, and which can be further divided into integer numbers or float numbers. In case of scientific studies, we can also use complex numbers. For binary choice options like whether a person is tested positive for corona or not, a boolean data type is used. Absence of value is represented by NoneType in Python. Apart from these, there are 4 data structures in Python: lists, set, dict, and tuple. I will cover data structures in a separate video. In this video, I'll focus on text, numeric, boolean data types. In Python, we don't have any way to simply declare a variable and specify the data type to that variable. If you have any idea about any other programming language where we can do it, for example, in case of Java, we can declare a variable of type string or int or float. In Python, whenever we assign a value to a variable, a new variable is created, and based on the type of the data of the data type, it is automatically defined for corresponding variable. If you assign a string value, the data type of the variable will be string. If you assign float value, data type of the variable will be float. Besides, in Python, data type of the variable need not be fixed. It can dynamically changed based on the new data that is being assigned to that variable. There is no compile time data type association with any variable in Python. Now, before we start, let's first understand the rules while defining the Python variables. A variable name must start with either a letter or underscore character. A variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name can contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. Variable names are case sensitive. For example, quantity all in small letters and quantity in all capital letters are two different variables. Variable name cannot be a Python keyword. Python keywords are nothing but the reserved words in Python which have a special meaning in Python. Now let us try out a few examples. Open a command prompt. Change to a directory where you want to save your Jupyter notebooks. Then launch Jupyter Notebook with command Jupyter Notebook. Hit enter. I have already created a new notebook to practice the variables and data types in order to save our time of typing. We'll first start with the text data. That's the data type string. It is nothing but a series of characters. A string can be represented in either single quote or double quote. The few examples that we have seen before were like the name of the person, the name of the subject, or university. All of them can be represented by string. So here in this example, in this notebook, in the first cell, if you see, so I have created 3 variables: person name, subject name, city name, and I have assigned them values like Amar, Maths, and Mumbai, all of them in double quotes. So if we print these variables, we'll get to see that these values have been assigned to these corresponding variables. Now if we want to see what is the data type of this variable, like let's say for example person name, then we can use a type function, and within type function you can provide the name of the variable. So here if we see person name is of type string. Let's see for subject name, again it's type string. For city name also it's type string. Python also provides us a way to assign a multi-line string to a variable by either using 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. So here sample paragraph 1 is a multi-line text enclosed in 3 double quotes. If we see here, okay, and you also have an option of providing the multi-line text enclosed in 3 single quotes, for example in case of sample paragraph 2. So if we see here, sample paragraph 1 has multi-line text assigned to it. The data type of sample paragraph 1 is also a string. Sample paragraph 2 has a multi-line text assigned to it, and the data type of sample paragraph 2 is also a string. Now Python also provides us a way to specify the data type of the data when you are assigning it to a variable. In case of data type string, we can use a construction function called as str. With this, the value that we are going to provide within the brackets is going to be assigned to this variable, and the data type will be specified as string. So let's see this here for name of the cricket team as Mumbai Indians, and if we see the data type of this is string. Now we have seen the examples where we have seen the variable names that we have specified so far were following the rules of defining the variable names, like they didn't start with the number, they were not the reserved keywords, they were not non-alphanumeric characters. Now let us see if we try to define a variable which doesn't follow the rule. For example, here if you see 5_topic, which is equal to health. So if we execute this, then it's going to tell us invalid decimal literal, syntax error, invalid decimal literal, which means that we are not allowed to define or declare a variable like this. After string, we will see few examples of int data type. Integer is nothing but whole number. It can be either positive or negative, but without any decimal point. The first example we can see is age of a patient. That's the name of the variable that we have created. And I have assigned a value as 55 to this variable. So let's print this value. Let's check what is the data type of age of patient variable. It's integer. I have created another variable. Please note the number of items sold variable starts with the underscore, which is a valid variable name, and the value 10,500 is assigned to it. So let's print the value of the number of items sold. Let's check the data type of number of items sold variable. It's again integer. Just like string, integer also have a construction function int, which can be used to define a data type and assign it to the variable. So for example, in the next example where number of countries is a variable name, and I have used this int construction function and provided a value within the bracket, and if I print the number of countries value, we'll see that 195 is assigned, and if we check the data type, it's integer. So next data type that we are going to see is float. So I have created a variable with name pi_value, and I have assigned a value of 3.14 to it. So let's print the value of variable pi_value. We can see 3.14 is assigned to it. Let's check the data type of pi value, which is float. Then we will see one more example. The new variable that I have created is price per item, and I have assigned value of 9.99. So let's see if the value is assigned. Let's check the data type of price per item, which is again a float. Similar to string and integer, we have a constructor function for float as well, where we can assign the floating point numbers to a variable by specifying that its data type is float. So discount percentage gets assigned with a floating point value of 0.5. Let's print the data type, it's float. Next data type that we are going to see is complex number, which is majoritarily useful in scientific domain. So in first example, I have created a variable complex number 1, and I have assigned a value of 2 plus 5j, out of which 2 is a real part and 5 is imaginary part. Let's see if the value gets correctly assigned to it or not. So it has been correctly assigned. Let's see the data type. So we can see it's a complex data type. Let's see one more example of complex number, which is complex number 2, where I have assigned a value of 10 plus 2j. Let's see if the value gets correctly assigned. Let's see the data type of complex number 2. We can see that it's complex number. Now, as we have seen in the previous examples or previous data types, again we have a constructor function for complex data type where we have specified value of 10j and assigned it to complex number 3. And the data type, again we can check, is complex. The next data type we are going to see is boolean. Boolean has only two possible values, whether it's true or false. So in first example, we can see as corona positive, I have assigned value of false. Let's see if it gets assigned to it or not. And then let's check the data type of is corona positive variable, which is nothing but boolean. Then is weekdays assigned with value true. Then the data type is again boolean. Then we have a constructor function bool, which can be used to specify a boolean data type, and we have assigned a value of true to a variable is server running, and the data type of is server running is bool. The next data type that we will see is NoneType. NoneType is nothing but an absence of value. It denotes the absence of value, that no value is assigned to that particular variable. So in this case, store name is assigned with a value none. So if we print it, we'll see that it's specified, or it prints none. And if we try to get the type of store name, it's NoneType. As I mentioned before, the data type of a variable in Python is not fixed. If we assign a new value to a variable with different data type than the previous one, its data type will be changed. So let's see a few examples here. So I have created a variable item price per unit, and I have assigned a value of 10, which means it's a int value that I have assigned. So let's see if the value gets printed correctly. Let's check the data type, it's integer. Now I have used the same variable item price per unit, and I have assigned a value of 12.5, which is nothing but a floating point number. So let's see if the value gets updated to the same variable. Yes, it has updated the value. Then let's check the data type. So here we can see the data type of the same variable item price per unit, which was integer in this cell, is changed to float. Now I'm changing its value to a string variable, and the data type will be changed to string. In Python, variable names are case sensitive. That is, if we see, let's see the example. So for example, if we see, we have created two variables here, quantity underscore sold. However, in first line, the variable is in all small letters. In second line, the variable is all capital letters, and both of them have different values assigned to it. So let's try to execute this cell. Let's try to see what gets printed when we try to print quantity sold in all small letters. So it's 50, and let's try to print quantity sold in all capital letters. So we can see both of them have different values assigned to it, and they are not the same variables. There is one more point I would like to add here, is that when we are using a variable in Python, we can create variables with three possible styles: snake case, Pascal case, and camel case. In snake case, it contains all small letters and words are separated by the underscore, as we see in case of person name variable here. In Pascal case, first letter of each word is in capital letter and rest of the letters are small, as we see in case of subject name. In camel case, first letter of each word is capital except the first word, and rest of the letters are small, as we can see here in case of city name. So here we have covered the basic or primitive data types in Python. In next video, I'll go through some important string functions and operators in Python.
Thanks for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is just starting in Python. Post your feedback and questions in comment section. Keep learning. See you in the next one.